I do have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. I also have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. I like to put those collections of letters at the end of my name and pretend I went to university. So people think that I'm educated rather than regularly shitting my barren self. One of my friends said to me, she said, I can't always tell if you're about to tell me a secret or you're sneaking out a fart. I said, I've got no secrets. All farts. What you do find, though, if you have IBS and you're having a bad bout of IBS, your farts are so horrific that if you do one in a room where there are other people, you don't get the traditional response of people kind of muttering to each other, has somebody just, can you smell? Has somebody just... That's what happens. What happens is somebody puts their hand on your arm and says, are you all right? But I went for a walk a couple of months ago with a friend of mine. Lovely walk we were having, but I had really bad guts that day. Really bad. And I did a fart, and I knew it was a bad one because it was hot. And I thought I'd got away with it. But then my friend sort of looked up and sniffed at the same time. Like a quizzical Bisto kid. And then she looked at me and she went, are we near a zoo? I had piles once, and I think most families have an area of medical expertise, you know, so maybe you've all got bad backs, so you know the tablets to take, the exercises to do, that sort of thing. With my family, it's arseholes. They're lovely people, but wow, they're good with the bowel. And the day that I realised I had piles, I rang my dad, because he's my arsehole phone a friend. And I told him what was going on, and he said, right. And I thought, this is what dads do, isn't it? That's what they say before they fix things. Right. And he went, what you need? Baths as hot as you can stand them, anusol cream on the rest of the time. I said, thank you. And I hung up. I rang him back like 20 minutes later. I said, I'm having some trouble. He said, what kind of trouble are you having? I said, I cannot really see what I'm doing. He said, I don't know what you mean. I said, well, I'm not supple enough to do it that way, and I've got too much here to be able to get access through there. And he went, right. And I thought, again, he's going to fix it. And he said, what you need is one of those mirrors that the police use for looking for bombs under cars. The day that I realised I had piles, I was meeting a friend for lunch. And I'm so rubbish at keeping secrets that she'd barely said hello, and I just blurted it out, I've got piles! And her response is the best response you can ever hope for if that happens to you in the future. Because I went, I've got piles! And she went, so have I! And we high-tend and went to the pub. And I was out shopping with a friend of mine a few months ago, just having a nice shop. It was a bit chilly out, so we decided to get some takeaway teas just to carry around with us as we went. And we went into this cafe, we stood in a queue. Quite quickly I realised the man behind me in the queue I knew, not very well, but enough to say hello to. And very quickly he offered to buy my tea for me. And I was immediately transported back to my sort of 18-year-old self. My mum had ingrained in me to never accept a drink of somebody you don't know really well, especially a man, because you'll probably want something in return. So I immediately went back with a very aggressive no. And then I thought, maybe I'm being a bit unfair. Maybe it's a different situation. Me, 18 in a nightclub, me, 41 in a cafe with me friend. It's daylight, we're getting teas, we're taking them away. Maybe this is different. But when he offered again, go on, let me buy your tea for you, all I could think of was, what's he going to want in return? And then I thought, it's £1.70, probably just a flick of the end. He's a nice man, but he's quite sincere. And he said to me, for all of the joy that you bring people, let me buy your tea for you. And I said, just a tea, just a fucking tea. All the joy, all the fucking joy. So I got a muffin as well. Flick, flick. the doctors. I had a sore throat for a bit too long and I went to see my doctor. My doctor said I'm going to send it to see a specialist, an ear, nose and throat specialist. I said, okay. So off I go to see this fella, lovely fella he was. He said to me, do you suffer from acid reflux? And I said, no. And then when I got home, I thought I should have said yes, because I realised that my husband and I eat so many Rennies that we call them bathroom sweets. But he said to me, I'd like you to take Gaviscon after every meal. I said, after every meal, every time I've eaten, because those two are very different numbers. He said, ideally, I'd like to put a camera down your throat so we can have a look at what we're dealing with. I said, okay. And I thought, this is a bit where he sends me away and I come back in 6 months with a new appointment. And he went, no, we can do that now. Oh, shit. So he came out with this contraption, metal like this and metal like this. The main thing you need to know is that it's very rigid, none of it moves. So I have to move because it won't move. And he puts it down my throat and I instantly gagged. And he pulled it out and he said, are you going to be okay with this? And I said, yes. And he put it back in, again. He was mortified. He said, do me a favour. The next time you think you're going to gag, do this. I said, why? He said, it stops you gagging. And I thought, noted. My husband's going to think he's being sucked off by a Geordie pensioner. And who knows, someday he might be. No, I mean that will be pensioners. I don't mean like for a present. Coming in, Doris, he's ready for his gift now. Happy birthday to you. I've been trying to think of different things that I've done since the last time I was on tour. And one of those things is that I got married. Oh, thanks. And there's obviously loads of things I love about my husband. I'll tell you a couple of them. One of the things I love about my husband is that one time, when he went food shopping, he came home with 18 tins of custard. Now, who doesn't love that? But I did question the amount. I said, why 18 tins? He said there was an offer on. He fucking loves a bargain. I said, what was the offer? He said, buy one, get one free. I said, still, why 9 tins? I only had one banana. And I didn't want to eat it on its own, because then it's fruit, not pudding. That's no good, is it? But I chose to say it a different way. I thought maybe this is a longevity thing. Maybe he thinks we're going to be together a long time. 18 tins of custard long. Turns out 18 tins of custard only lasts a fortnight. Another thing I love about him is that he is as good with children as I am, which is not at all. We don't have many friends who have kids because mostly we try and shake them off. I'm sure you've got kids and I'm sure they're smashing, but I'm glad you've left them at fucking home. Presumably so are you. My husband has a friend that they've been friends since they were teenagers, and this particular friend has a little boy who's that sort of age. I'm going to say 5, but it's very much a guess. And this little boy is always there every time my husband visits his friend, because he hasn't got a job or anything yet. And the last time my husband visited his friend, the little boy said to him, will you read my book, please? So polite, so polite. My husband said, of course I will. So the little boy handed his book to my husband, and my husband read the book in his head. This is how shit we are with